I'm not sure quite what to say next, actually. There's a level at which I come along as a professional broadcaster. There's another level at which I come along as someone who is of this society. We've heard some incredible stories today, and there's part of me thinks, I'm actually live quite a sheltered existence, even though much of my life has been spent on the front line between the warring factions in our city in Northern Ireland. There's one thing came to me today as I was listening to this, and it actually concerned an experience of mine which followed on from the Shankill bomb. I remember that incident so well, Saturday afternoon. And I remember at the time there was real fear about what would happen next. And we didn't have long to wait as journalists. And on the Monday morning at the Belfast City Council depot on Kennedy Way, the UDA retaliated. And they killed 2 members of the cleansing department. They went to that particular depot because they believed that if they went there, the likelihood was that they'd find Catholics, and they were right. My own background is I was born Catholic and educated just over the line there on the Falls Road. And I went to St. Mary's Christian Brothers, and as it turned out, the son of one of those who was murdered that day was also at St. Mary's Christian Brothers. And the principal at that time was a guy called Michael Crilly, who, whenever I was a student there, he'd been a young teacher, but Michael Crilly and I kept in touch. And he said to me that he had to call that young lad out of class to tell him that his father had been murdered. And naturally there were tears. But the son said an incredible thing. He said, if there was one thing worse than being told that his father had been murdered, it was that his friends would know that his father was a bin man. And that still hurts me so deeply to have heard that story. I hope that that guy is okay. I really do. These are stories that we don't hear. Our job is very deficient in that we're very two-dimensional in what we do. We tell you what happened. We don't always tell you what happened next. And we've seen evidence of that today, of people from so many different backgrounds. The lives that they have lived don't make the headlines, so they are, in that sense, below the radar. But I, as a Christian myself, I stand with Jack and others here because I couldn't live the life that I live if I didn't have the faith that I have. And I've seen a few things in life, certainly nothing compared to what so many of the people whose lives I have been touched by have themselves witnessed. But I stand with you, Jack, and I thank you for having me here today.